Good morning, everyone. So glad you are with us here at 6 a.m. here on this Wednesday. We are now halfway through the week. Glad you're here. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Irampour. We are just days away from the Pride Parade. It's coming up on Saturday. And county health leaders just issued a monkeypox advisory ahead of this weekend of festivities.
Let's check in with CBS 8's Chris Groh live outside the county administration building. And Chris, what do we need to know here?
Yeah, Eric and Neda, look, there have been less than a handful of cases so far. 3 confirmed cases, 3 probable cases here in San Diego County. However, health officials here with the county do still want to give a warning out, especially with the Pride activities that are planned coming up. And for that reason, they held that warning during a recently hosted town hall on prepping for Pride. Now, monkeypox is spread through close physical contact, and these cases were reported primarily in men who have sex with other men and or attended circuit or rave parties. Now, the symptoms of monkeypox can include fever, headache, muscle and backaches, swollen lymph nodes, and exhaustion. The county will host 2 monkeypox vaccination clinics this week. They are by appointment only, and those eligible include San Diego County residents who are at higher risk of exposure to monkeypox, especially gay, bisexual, and transgender persons, and other men who have sex with men. But anyone who participates in circuit rave parties and Pride festivities, they are also eligible, again, because of that nature of close contact.
This can actually be transmitted to intimate contact and with people that we're sharing, for example, bedding, toothbrushes, and other things. Then, if we can limit that, it will be safer for us.
And look, for more information on accessing the vaccine, because it is by appointment only, or potentially any other warnings about monkeypox that you might be worried about, you can go to our website, cbs8.com, and click on that story link. Eric and Neda.
All right, Chris, thanks for that. Right now, a 12-year-old boy is recovering at Rady Children's after he nearly drowned in Mission Beach. It all happened just before 11 yesterday morning. Lifeguards say they found the boy face down and unconscious in waist-deep water. They managed to get him to shore, do CPR, and revive him. At last report, the boy was still in critical condition.
Incredible work by So businesses at this Grantville strip mall cleaning up after thieves targeted a gold exchange shop. This was on their property. Look at the damage done into those walls. It happened early yesterday morning. It's not the first time this has happened there. The owner tells us this is the 2nd burglary in just 9 months. The thieves did not manage to get away with anything, but they did leave that trail of damage. They're trying to bash through the walls, it looks like, including holes punched in the back of the strip mall.
I got a call from one of the tenants that she got a hole in the back. So I came down here and find out this gold exchange was the one they were targeting.
The thieves used a sledgehammer to punch those holes into 2 neighboring businesses to try to access that gold exchange. Once inside, they punched several more holes and attempted to use the hammer to get past a metal door. But of course, it's metal, so they were unsuccessful.
Well, we are seeing video from inside the hallway of Robb Elementary School during the deadly Uvalde shooting, and we want to warn you, it can be difficult to watch. This is the first time video from inside the school has been released. The footage shows the gunman in the school walking towards a classroom. You can see the first armed law enforcement officers in the hallway just 3 minutes after the gunman arrived. Officers do not enter the classroom for more than 70 minutes.
It's a law enforcement executive for 35 years. I was also a former SWAT operator, was involved in critical incidents. It's just disheartening to say the least, disturbing, upsetting regarding the multiple failures that we've seen.
Our sister station in Austin, Texas obtained this video. The station says several families were part of the decision-making process and were told what could be heard and could be seen in the video. Texas authorities planned to release the video this weekend.
Well, right now there is controversy over a new gun law here in California. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill allowing Californians affected by gun violence to sue firearm makers. Survivors will be allowed to pursue civil litigation if the sale, distribution, or marketing of their firearms violates state law. The California Rifle and Pistol Association says they plan to fight back against this. They're aiming to file a lawsuit within a week.
It seems like every law coming out of the legislature and being signed in the governor is like going through that checklist of the thou shalt nots and doing it anyways.
Now, Assemblymember Phil Ting, he's the one who wrote the bill, says he believes the law will survive in court. It'll go into effect next year. That means it will not apply to shootings that happened before next year.
On Capitol Hill, both houses of Congress took up the issue of abortion. It follows last month's Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Senators heard from people both for and against abortion rights as they considered bills that would protect abortion access. A House Rules Committee took up the Women's Health Protection Act, which would codify the right to an abortion. A second bill would ban states from interfering with someone's right to travel to another state for the procedure.
At this moment, the January 6th committee has wrapped up its 7th hearing looking at possible ties between the Trump White House and the rioters who attacked the U.S. Capitol. Stephen Ayers, one of the rioters who charged into the Capitol on January 6th, said he was directed to do so by former President Donald Trump.
The president, got everybody riled up, told everybody head on down. So we basically were just following what he said.
And now committee members argue that a tweet that Trump posted weeks before the attack was a call to arms. The tweet said, quote, "Be there, it will be wild." The committee has delayed an 8th hearing, saying it's still gathering evidence and hearing from new witnesses.
Well, we know our outdoor dining scene is great, right? A lot of people out there enjoying that, but it could be forcing some changes here. Today marking a key deadline for restaurant owners in the city of San Diego when it comes to those temporary outdoor permits.
Right, they're going to have to pay a lot of money to try to keep those dining areas set up. You're standing in front of one. Dana Marie McNichol, what's the latest there?
Well, good morning, Eric and Etta. Let me tell you, a lot of the people here in San Diego have expressed how much they love eating outside, especially during summer months. But today is the deadline. Either they have to apply for that permit or tear this area down. Now, for a little bit of a reference, this is about 24 feet by 6 feet, and the permit would cost them just a little bit over $4,000. So I'm going to break down some of the responses of business owners and how they've been struggling to get this staying, but they say it is very important.
Just the social aspect and being able to be outside with like your friends and being able to see people walk by. And I've made so many friends just by like sitting around and like having drinks.
Now, the cost of a new permit ranges from $10 to $30 per square feet, plus inspection fees, depending on where the restaurant is located. Now, the permit will last 2 years once it is approved. Now, we're getting word that only less than 4% of 500 restaurants that have created an outdoor space has applied for this permit Spaces as Places program. Now, that should change very dramatically the way that people here in San Diego eat. Now, according to city data, Little Italy restaurants applied for the greatest number of permits with a total of 5, which some were even located in food courts. North Park has seen the second most restaurants to apply for the permits, followed by South Park, Gaslamp, and Hillcrest. We spoke to a business owner over at Baja Betty's in Hillcrest. One of 2 restaurants that applied there. They say they've had to jump through quite a few hoops to get it permitted with the state, and the city has made it quite a process and an expensive one. Again, an area just like this in South Park would cost just over $4,000 to get permitted. So it is somewhat of a burden on those businesses. Some think it is worth it because of the extra table space. Do take note, with many of them taking them down, maybe wait times will now rise as space is diminishing for most restaurants here in San Diego. Again, today is the last day to apply for that permit. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, coming to you live from South Park.
It's hard for restaurant owners to budget that money, right? Thousands of dollars they'll have to pay. But
well, then if you don't do it, right, and there's a restaurant nearby that's outside, it's a beautiful day, right? So
people will want to sit outside.
Yeah, and it's extra thousands of dollars for them to do that. So. All right, well, it is nice out there.
It is.
It's been yesterday. It was really nice and comfortable.
Very much the time to be outside and enjoy the weather that we've got. And so I would assume a lot of people would be out at our local restaurants and our local beaches, especially the beachfront restaurants, enjoying the cooler temperatures that you'll see along the coast versus the warmer than average temperatures that you'll see inland, especially as we go into the next several days. Today is not necessarily a warmer than normal day across the county, but by the time we get into your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to be in the about 5 degrees above average range, moving toward 10 degrees above average the farther away from the coastline you go. So this afternoon, we're looking at low 70s along the water. That's going to keep things really mild. A 15-degree temperature jump as you head inland. 86 87 across your inland valleys. Mountains are expected to warm to the low 90s, and deserts 113 degrees out there. Here's the view from San Miguel. We've got a pretty dense marine layer from your mountaintops. You can see those clouds, and that means that as we wake up this morning, 5:50 was that sunrise about 20 minutes ago on the opposite side of this camera. And what we're going to continue to see is that marine layer present for the next couple hours, likely pretty stubborn along the immediate coastline, but pulling back from your inland valleys. So we should see some weakening of that marine layer and of onshore flow into the coming days. That'll mean temperatures are going to be warming up around that time frame, closer to the water. This afternoon, though, mainly low 70s along the water, 82 for El Cajon, 78 for La Mesa, 66 in La Jolla, and 69 for PB. Moving up the coastline, you've got mostly upper 60s and low 70s at the water, upper 70s inland, and then those 80s as you head toward Escondido, Poway, and Ramona this afternoon. Let's take a look at what's going on as far as traffic goes. Your temperatures are going to keep warming up. 6:11 on the clock right now, and we'll take you to one crash that was up just about 20 minutes ago. Right-hand shoulder is blocked with a crash at Hamishaw Road. This is on the 125 northbound, not causing any major backups or delays right now. Also, two things to mention here on the 5. One is the fast lane being blocked right now with a stalled vehicle on the 5 northbound. This is at Manchester Avenue in the Encinitas area. Farther south in Del Mar, the right-hand lane is blocked with a crash on the 5 northbound at 32 and 33. That's moving on to the 5 bypass there. That's closer to Sorrento. So that's what we're seeing this morning. Again, neither of these crashes, whether they be the 5 or the 125, causing any major backups right now, with volume still being very light to start off the day.